Hello everyone, I am Bhoomika Mohan from IIFT Delhi. This is a video that I'm shooting for you to be able to have access to information, resources and everything else in between that you come across before you start your preparation or before you appear for your extempore GDPI or you write your CV form. Now, the first thing that you will receive as soon as you get a call is a CV form to fill. Now, you will be required to fill this CV form where the form will be divided into three parts. There are three parts, part A, part B and part C. Part A will require you to answer all the information about your education background, your work ex background, the very basic things that you need to tell anybody. Part B is about career goals. So they try to gauge by your answers if you are management driven, if you have career goals which are, if you're looking forward to get into this career just because you want to get here, or do you have serious aspirations. So through those answers, we try to see if you are career oriented and if you have things in your mind, a few steps, if you're looking forward 5 years down the line or something like that. Part C is about management traits. So they try to see your behavioral traits. They try to ask you about your hobbies and interests. They ask you about management traits that you may need to have some. So that is where we talk about management driven answers, where we see if you are good at prioritizing things, if you manage your time well or something like that. In my CV form, I was asked my favorite area of discussion on social networking sites, situations where I had to prioritize, incident that changed my perspective towards life, global event that you think will have a great impact in the long term going forward in India or abroad, an instance of team building that I saw in my life, professional achievements, why management, why MBA, an innovative idea that I have worked on, etc. So I would like to suggest you, before starting your SOP, I would like to suggest you that you introspect well enough. So go to your parents, go to your teachers, go to your friends, ask them questions like, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Where do you think I can improve? Why do you think I can be a good manager? What is the happiest that you have seen me do? What do you think should I be most proud of about myself? So these are some of the questions. If you struggle with answering for yourself, your friends and your teachers and your parents will help you find those answers. I would like to suggest that do not try and lie in the interview. It's a very big no, because it's very easy to catch a lie in an interview or the SOP form by asking questions. And there's a technique called why chain. So we keep asking you why and how, and then at one point or the other you get stuck and you cannot answer any further, and it shows that you have lied about the information or you're not well equipped with the content that you're speaking about. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation, so never lie in an interview. Then I would like to suggest that write it in a story format. Every SOP answer that you write, make sure that you write it in a story format where you give instances from your life and attach them to every question that has been asked to you. Then I would like to suggest you that you should know every single thing that you have written in your CV form, because that is a representation of who you are. And these are the best things that you have picked, put in the CV, and now you're going to talk about them. Moving forward to WAT, which did not happen during my year, but I anyway nevertheless prepared for it. I wrote WAT for IIM Indore's process, and I can tell you what works and what does not. So practice writing one essay every day. Make a small group. You can find these groups on Telegram or something. People will keep reviewing each other's WAT. You can also be the person who read other people's WAT, review it for them and get yours reviewed as well. So that will give you a strong heads up. I would like to say that please make sure that you structure your thoughts in everything that you write. You should always know beforehand what am I going to speak about next or what am I going to write about next. Build your content is one of the best things that I could think about, as in you need to know a lot of things. You need to read news enough, you need to have content enough, you need to speak to people, you need to listen to news basically, so that you have some content in your mind and then you can go ahead and write about it when it comes to that. The worst would be if you have a topic and you do not know at all what to write about it, right? Don't want to put yourself in that situation. Now moving on to extempore and GD. I would like to say what worked best for me during extempore was that I made a small group of 10 to 12 people, and we used to come on Zoom meets every night and we used to give each other extempore. everybody else would sit and listen to me giving extempore, and then I would listen to everyone else giving an extempore. That way, not only we circulated all the topics across everyone, but we were also able to have enough content that came from every other person. Now practice hot topics. Make sure that you know everything that comes across, digitalization, EVs, bitcoins, world trade policies, changes in the trade policies, any new trade barrier that has been put across, any new trade barrier that has been taken off. You need to know all of that, especially in context with India. Know current affairs so as to be able to speak best about the content that you are speaking about. And then keep a tab of your time. Yeah, one of the good things that I could write down while I was thinking about my extempore was that I took a tab of my time. I did not leave it on the interviewer to stop me and tell, right? And these are professors. They know the things they are talking about. They know better than you do, right? So do not try to say things just because you want to fill up the time or something. Have content. You'll have that by reading, and then have a framework ready. So know that I'm always going to start with an introduction, then I'll move on to give some examples and instances and effects and impacts, and then I'll close it by saying some kind of conclusion or something. Now talking about the most important part, PI, which is the personal interview, where you'll have a few professors sitting. At IIFT, during my interview, the people who took my extempore were the same people that took my PI. So in such a situation, it's very important that you say the right things during your extempore, because they can be picked up by the professor and be spoken about in the personal interview process. The most common and most important questions in an IIFT interview would be, why do you want to do an MBA in international business? Why do you want to do management as a career? Why do you want to switch? If you have a gap year, they'll ask you about what did you do during that time. If you have low academics, they will ask you about why do you have low academics, and do you plan on, focusing less on academics then too. So for such questions, you should have some substitute answers so that the interviewer knows that you do not have a lackadaisical attitude, but you only had some constraints before coming here. And then it's also very important that you stay prepared with domain specific questions, because say for example, you say that you're interested in marketing. They will ask you what subject are you going to prefer? Are you inclined towards some subject or something? You should be able to tell them that. So for that, keep one subject in your mind that you think you can prepare a little bit about. So I had marketing in my mind, and I had prepared all the domain specific questions that could be thrown at me. Those questions could be like, what is an Ansoff matrix? What is a BCG matrix? Design a STP model for HUL, say for example. What is the difference between sales and marketing? How would you design a strategy or a campaign as a marketer for so and so brand? So what is your favorite advertisement? What is the worst advertisement? Why do you not like it? What do you want to improve in say one campaign? So you should have some kind of context around that, and it doesn't take much for you to go ahead and watch a few ads or watch a few videos, or just read a few some content around the same. That will help you a lot. Okay, two things I would like to mention that for the preparation of your PI, do not miss budget. It is very important that you are well equipped with the information, analysis, and anything and everything that could be shooted at you with respect to the budget. Make notes of it, keep reading and rereading it. It won't only help you in IIFT interview, but every other interview that you appear for. One thing that I want to tell everyone watching is that you cannot afford to say bad things about who you have been, where you have come from, and what you have studied. You can say that you're more inclined towards finance now, more inclined towards management now, but you cannot demean your background. Know your hobby well enough. Always have examples to speak about people who do your hobby the best. So for example, I used to say swimming. So I should know people who do swimming best, right? And then know your city and state, the place where you come from. They could ask questions around that. If the interviewer has anything in common with you, if they have a similar hobby as you, if they have a same state as you, a same city as you, they will stop you there and talk about it further. So you want to be prepared about the same, right? I would also like to say that have a strong introduction ready. You should not fumble in the first few sentences that you speak to the interviewer about. Then it gets a little comfortable, and then you can speak about the things you want to speak about, but have your introduction handy, be ready with it. And I would like to suggest a few channels, YouTube channels that I used to follow were Byju's IAS. I used to watch Study IQ. I used to watch Deepak Yadav Education for news analysis. I used to read The Mint and Business Standards, so you can also go ahead and do that. Lastly, I would like to say stay confident. You can always reach out to me on LinkedIn. I am here to vet your CV or look at your CV form or take a mock interview. Any way that I can help, I am up to do that. You have reached here, you have reached till this process, you will get through this as well, and you land up at a place that is the best for you. So do not worry at all about don't take pressure about things, right? It is okay. You're going through a process, you're going to enjoy it. And I would love to see you on the other side of the bridge. If you happen to come to IIFT Delhi, come speak to me. I would love to do that. Thank you so much. Reach out for any help. Thank you.